Making headlines this hour. President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum sends National Day felicitations to King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and Prime Minister Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa of Bahrain. Maldives Health Protection Agency HPA says that Zika virus have been found on 2 Maldivians. And security forces say that 5 female Afghan guards working on the airport in southern Kandahar were killed by unknown gunmen as they were on their way to work.
Good evening and welcome to Nightly News on Television Maldives with me, Fatma Sara. President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum sends a National Day felicitations to King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and Prime Minister Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa of Bahrain. In separate messages sent to the Bahraini King and Prime Minister, President Yamin extended warm greetings and sincere good wishes of the government and people of the Maldives to the government and brotherly people of Bahrain on the happy occasion of Bahrain's National Day. The President also expressed his hope that the brotherly ties of friendship and understanding that exist between Maldives and Bahrain will continue to strengthen in the coming years. Maldives Health Protection Agency HPA says that Zika virus have been found in 2 Maldivians. The agency also revealed that since 2015, over 500 locals have been screened for the virus.
A statement issued by the HPA said that Zika screening began in Maldives in January of this year, and with the establishment of Zika screening system, 517 people with symptoms were screened for the virus. Previously, HPA has revealed that there were 3 cases of Zika found in Maldives. The first was a national of Finland in January, followed by German and Spanish national who left the country in the middle of the year. In January 2016, World Health Agencies issued travel guidance on affected countries, including the use of enhanced precautions and guidelines for pregnant women, urging them to consider postponing travel. Zika virus is a mosquito-borne virus that was first identified in Uganda in 1947 in monkeys through a network that monitored yellow fever. The recent outbreak of Zika virus was reported in Brazil in 2015. In July 2015, Brazil reported an association between Zika virus infection and Guillain-Barré syndrome. In October of the same year, Brazil reported an association between Zika virus infection and microcephaly. Zika virus disease is caused by a virus transmitted primarily by Aedes mosquitoes. People with Zika virus disease can have symptoms including mild fever, skin rash, conjunctivitis, muscle and joint pain or headache. These symptoms normally last for 2 to 7 days.
Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim says that by April of this year, over 100,000 foreigners have entered Maldives to seek work. He made the statement in an event held by Maldives Red Crescent MRC to mark the International Migrations Day.
Speaking in the opening ceremony of Celebrate Diversity organized by MRC, Minister Nazim noted that Maldivian economy is depending on foreign labor force and said that this shows the numerous opportunities for foreign laborers entering Maldives to seek work. MRC Male branch, together with International Organization for Migration, has started a project with the aim of creating public awareness on rights of migrants and human trafficking issues, as well as identifying potential victims of trafficking. MRC says the aim of this project is to create awareness on various health information and infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, dengue and HIV, along with the first aid information. MRC said that the main objective of this event is to promote acceptance and create a better understanding of mixed communities that work or live in Maldives. MRC also revealed plans to hold a music show as well as food and snacks from different countries to give the foreign communities a taste of home and for locals a different experience. According to MRC, there will also be a photo exhibition on migrant workers by local youth.
Maldives Transport and Contracting Company MTCC says 66% of the industrial village project has been completed. The project is scheduled to be completed by the end of April 2017.
The Industrial Village project is also progressing swiftly with 66% of the project now completed. Project manager at MTCC Umar Zahir said currently work is underway to develop the roads inside the village and that of providing utilities to the whole area. He said that some work on the outer seawall area is also being conducted. Speaking to PSM News about the project, CEO of MTCC Ibrahim Ziyad said the work on the project is being carried out with quality. He further assured that the project will be completed in the given time frame. According to the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure, the proposed multi-story building to be constructed in the area will be put out to tender in the near future. The ministry said administrative work is now underway to lease land for building warehouses and chemical storage facilities in the village. The government plans to relocate garages, industrial workshops, dump yard and chemical storage facilities in Male to the industrial village, and it is expected to provide a huge gratification to the people living in Male. The industrial village is being developed on 6.9 hectares of reclaimed land on the southwestern side of Male.
Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammad Shaini says Gamanafushi Island of North Huadu Atoll has reaped the full benefits of preparing and organizing this year's Fisherman's Day. Gamanafushi Island of Garfalif Atoll has seen many development projects established in the island. The government has pledged more projects in Gamanafushi due to the island's hard work in preparing and hosting this year's Fisherman's Day function in the island. Some of these projects include the inauguration of a 4 million rupiah ice plant in the island built by MIFCO via the government loan scheme, which can produce up to 25 tons of ice daily, and a new generator the island received in order to further strengthen the electricity network of the island. Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammad Shaini said Gamanafushi Island has reaped the full benefits of preparing and hosting this year's Fisherman's Day activities in the island. Speaking in the special function held to mark Fisherman's Day in Gamanafushi Island, President Yamin also revealed plans to establish factories in 3 different key locations in 2017 with the help of Saudi funds. The President also announced that 2017 will see the commencement of the project to establish a sewerage network in Gamanafushi. He further revealed plans to establish a banking service in the island during 2017. In preparations for the function, the Island Council of Gamanafushi also conducted development projects in the island, including 2 parks. According to the council, the whole island showed full cooperation and their support for preparations for the activities. India's Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says remonetization of new currency would be completed soon after the Federal Bank replaces nearly 1/3 of the scrapped higher bills. The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) has infused more than 5 trillion rupees of currency notes into the banking system since the demonetization on November 8th. Finance Minister Jaitley said the RBI would inject significant currency in the coming days to help tide over the crisis.
And this transformation now will have to be carried to its logical conclusion. The whole process of remonetization is not going to take very long time. And I'm sure very soon the Reserve Bank, by injecting currency daily through the banking and the postal system, will be able to complete it.
Taking a dig at opposition parties, Jaitley said once the remonetization process was over, it would mark a new normal for India.
Once the remonetization process is complete and it has made a substantial headway, marks the creation of a new Indian normal. Because the normal that existed for 70 years is an unacceptable normal.
Several opposition parties have protested against Modi's decision, leading to complete washout of the winter session of Parliament. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi lashed out at the opposition for its continuous attack over demonetization, saying the country required the move in 1971 and has suffered huge losses due to the delay in implementation. Modi, who was addressing Bharatiya Janata Party BJP parliamentary meet in New Delhi, invoked former PM Indira Gandhi to hit back at opposition Congress party, saying she ignored note ban advice to curb black money in 1971. The Prime Minister dropped a bombshell on November 8 by abolishing 500 and 1000 rupee notes, accounting for 86% of cash in circulation, leaving people in a severe cash crisis. The move was aimed at cracking down on shadow economy, but has brought India's cash economy to a virtual standstill. The parliament witnessed chaotic scenes for the entire session, with opposition parties demanding Prime Minister Narendra Modi to make a statement on demonetization. The move to demonetize the large bills is designed to bring billions of dollars worth of cash in unaccounted wealth into the mainstream economy, as well as dent the finances of militants who target India and are suspected of using fake 500 rupee notes to fund operations. India's black economy, a term widely used to describe transactions that take place outside formal channels, amounted to around 20% of gross domestic product, according to investment firm Ambit. Scuffles and protests broke out in the northwestern Venezuelan city of Maracaibo as concerns grew over lack of cash after the socialist government suddenly decreed this week that its largest banknote would be pulled from circulation in the midst of a punishing economic crisis. President Nicolas Maduro gave Venezuelans a few days to reach the 100 Bolivar bills, arguing the measure was needed to combat mafias on the Colombia border, despite warnings from some economists that it risked sparking chaos. Long lines formed outside of Central Bank of Maracaibo as residents waited to exchange their bills. Frustrations mounted and resulted in scuffles with police guarding the bank. People also protested, waving bundles of bills in the air and shouting. Many expressed fear for the future. With new bills originally due on Thursday still nowhere to be seen, many Venezuelans on Friday were unable to fill their car tanks to get to work, buy breakfast or get gifts ahead of Christmas. Many cash machines were broken or empty, shops struggled to be paid and tips vanished. Maduro's shock decision is stoking anger among weary Venezuelans who have for years already stood in long lines for food and medicine amid product shortages and triple-digit inflation. Venezuela's opposition says this latest measure is further evidence that Maduro is destroying the economy and must be removed. Authorities have blocked a vote against the leftist leader, however, leaving social unrest as a possible wild card in the volatile country. Maduro blames the crisis on an economic war waged against his government to weaken the Bolivar currency and unseat him. Critics scoff at that explanation, pointing instead to state controls and excessive money printing. Looking at news from international arena, 4 people, including 3 college students, drowned in Periyar River in India's southern Kerala state while they were on a holiday. Of the 4, 3 were students of St. Stephen's College in New Delhi and 1 was a parent of one of them. The students were pursuing Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Bachelor of Sanskrit respectively. River Periyar is known for its strong current and similar incidents have happened in the past. Security forces say that 5 female Afghan guards working in the airport in southern Kandahar were killed by unknown gunmen as they were on their way to work. From bomb attacks to targeted or honor killings or domestic abuses, Afghan women have borne the brunt of the 15 years of conflict during the Taliban-led insurgency as security has deteriorated and violence has increased in most parts of the country. Samim Kulwak, spokesman for the governor of Kandahar, said the 5 women were in charge of searching female travelers at Kandahar airport and had been hired by a private security company. He revealed that unknown gunmen shot and killed 6 people and that 5 of them were women. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the Taliban insurgents waging an insurgency to topple the foreign-backed government of President Ashraf Ghani opposed women working outside their homes. Although Afghan women had made hard-fought rights gains in education and work since the collapse of austere Taliban regime in 2001, there are growing fears that these could reverse with the deterioration of security and increase in violence. Despite years of pressure by women's group and foreign donors, Afghanistan remains one of the most difficult places to be a woman. Restoring fundamental women's rights was one of the main objectives of the international community in Afghanistan, where the hardline Taliban banned girls from school and women from work in their rule from 1996 to 2001. More than 25 people are wounded when an explosion hit a bus in central Turkish city of Kayseri. Hospital sources confirmed that there were dead and wounded from the blast, which hit a bus carrying off-duty soldiers and civilians near campus of a university. Ambulances were sent to the area after the explosion. Turkish Dogan news agency said that the blast occurred as the bus passed by a car believed to be packed with explosives. According to broadcaster NTV, the blast happened near a bus stop at the campus of Asirs University in Kayseri. On December 10th, a twin bombing claimed by Kurdish militants outside an Istanbul soccer stadium killed more than 40 people and wounded more than 100. Turkey faces multiple security threats, including spillover from the fight against IS in northern Syria, where it is a member of a US-led coalition against the militant group. Fog continues to envelop northern Indian cities, prolonging the continued disruption of flights and trains as visibility dimmed across the region. Passengers at New Delhi railway station in the national capital were left in the dark about train schedules as the Indian Railway struggles to run them on time amid the fog. 52 trains arriving in New Delhi were reportedly delayed and 12 rescheduled because of foggy conditions. The city of Lucknow as well as other parts of Uttar Pradesh province were wrapped in dense fog with near zero visibility. South Asia's winters are not as bad as other regions such as North America, but the millions of poor here are hit harder because they live in open and do not have enough warm clothes. National Meteorological Center says that the smog weather has affected about 1/9 of China's total land area. This smog started to blanket North China and the Huanghe regions and is expected to last until December 21st. The Central Weather Authority continues to issue an orange alert for air pollution after about 1 million square kilometers of the country's land was affected by smog. China has a 4-tier color-coded system for severe weather, with red being the most serious, followed by orange, yellow and blue. Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, Shanxi and Shaanxi will suffer severe smog with a minimum visibility of 1 kilometer. The density of PM 2.5, a major air pollutant, will reach its peak to 500 micrograms per cubic meter from December 19th to 21st. That will mean curbs on traffic and construction work and advisories for schools, hospitals and businesses. The Beijing municipal government has issued this year's first red alert for air pollution from Friday evening in response to severe smog. Despite relatively clear skies, the Beijing skyline was shrouded in thick smog. Several Beijing residents said they were frustrated with the inconvenience caused by the air pollution but hoped it was only temporary. Red alerts are issued when the air quality index AQI, a measure of pollutants in the air, is forecast to break 200 for more than 4 days in succession, surpass 300 for more than 2 days, or overshoot 500 for at least 24 hours. According to the Beijing Municipal Environmental Monitoring Center, the average AQI reading in Beijing is at 307. As of Saturday, Beijing city government has ordered 1,200 factories near the Chinese capital, including a major oil refinery run by state oil giant Sinopec, to shut or cut output. In Shijiazhuang, the capital of Hebei, the AQI was as high as 500. Steel plants there have been forced to cut output. State broadcaster CCTV showed footage of Zhengzhou, capital of nearby Henan province, which has also been hit by bad air pollution. The world's second largest economy has been battling environmental degradation left by decades of breakneck economic growth. The government's color-graded warning system was adopted as part of its crackdown on smog. Cold wave tightens its grip on Kashmir Valley as temperatures plummeted, freezing water bodies in Rajouri district in India's Jammu and Kashmir province. Residents continue to shiver with dense fog and chilly wave, making life difficult for them. Groups of men sat around bonfires to keep themselves warm. School children and passengers wrapped themselves in layers of clothing as they stood waiting for buses to reach their destinations early in the morning. People hoped for rainfall to bring relief in the weather. The weather department has forecast mainly dry weather in the state over the week ahead, which could lead to further drop in the night temperature. Every year as the cold wave tightens its grip, the homeless are the worst hit, and many die as they often either sleep in open or under thin tarpaulin sheets. Indian government promises stringent action against corruption after Italy's highest court ordered a retrial of former top executives at defense group Leonardo Finmeccanica over allegations of bribery in a 2010 contract to provide a dozen helicopters to New Delhi. In April, a Milan's appeal court sentenced former Finmeccanica CEO Giuseppe Urshi to 4.5 years in prison for corruption and falsifying invoices, overturning a previous lower court ruling. Bruno Spaniolini, former head of the group's helicopter unit Augusta Wetland, was sentenced to 4 years in jail over the €560 million contract. The deal was cancelled in 2014 after Urshi was arrested on suspicion of paying bribes to secure the deal. The case went to the highest court after the two executives launched an appeal. Both executives will now have to be tried again in front of Milan's appeals court. India's junior parliamentary affairs minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said law would take its own course. Last week, India's Federal Police, the Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI), arrested the former head of the Air Force, S.P. Thagi, who was at the center of the allegations of impropriety in order of the 12 helicopters meant to fly senior Indian politicians. Leader of opposition in upper house of Indian Parliament, Ghulam Nabi Azad, said his party leaders were not involved in the scam as the then Congress party led the United Progressive Alliance UPA government had cancelled the deal.
It was the UPA government who initiated the process of cancelling the deal and CBI inquiry, and whatever number of helicopters we had got, that remained with India, and whatever advance money we had gone, we retrieved 100%. So where is the question?
Augusta Wetland opposed India's decision to cancel the order, and the contract is currently suspended and the subject of international arbitration in Paris. The case against Finmeccanica itself was dropped by prosecutors back in 2014, while Augusta Wetland agreed on a €7.5 million settlement with the court the same year. Paying or accepting bribes are prohibited by India's defense procurement rules. The government can cancel a contract if an integrity pact in the rules is violated and the seller has to forfeit any security money it deposited as a bidder. Indian defense deals have been hit by a number of corruption allegations over the past 2 decades. Cancelled deals have set back purchases since the mid-1980s. The international governing body of Association Football, FIFA, says an assessment of its video review system is extremely positive. The video review system is struggling to win supporters as the technology sparked controversy for the second straight match at the FIFA Club World Cup tournament in Japan. Real Madrid reached the final by beating Club America 2-0, but the review system was again the taking point after Cristiano Ronaldo's injury time strike angered some fans. The first time video evidence was used was to avoid a penalty in the first semi-final when Japanese team Kashima Antlers beat Colombia's Atlético Nacional. Kashima benefited after the video assistant referee VAR called the referee's attention to an infringement by Atlético's Orlando Barrio. The decision and the time it took to reach it provoked anger from fans. As play continued for another 45 seconds, enough time for Kashima to launch another attack before the ball went out for a throw-in and the referee asked for a review. In the second semi-final, Ronaldo's goal was originally disallowed for offside before being allowed on video review. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said problems in the first semi-final were caused not by the VAR but by miscommunication between referees who are yet to be familiar with the new system in a real match.
We are even more encouraged by the results because we have seen that it's actually possible for referees to learn very quickly how the system functions. And the results so far in the tests, both in the offline tests as well in the online tests, in the live tests now in an official competition, have been extremely encouraging, extremely positive.
FIFA's head of refereeing, Massimo Busacca, said the VAR would help referees make more accurate judgments.
We ask the referee to maintain their personality and to decide as a first in the game. The most difficult part will be the referee. Beside one video, and this is another information, is not technology will take a decision. We will always have a human taking a decision.
FIFA's Chief Officer for Technical Development, Marco van Basten, said the system will get better as people become used to it.
I think it only can be better because we have just more eyes to make a good decision. So even when maybe not everything is optimal, in the end the result is more honest because the decisions were better.
Real Madrid and Japanese champions Kashima Antlers played the Club World Final on Sunday with Mexico's Club America and Colombia's Atlético Nacional contesting the third place play-off earlier in the day. And on a lighter note, Hollywood director Steven Spielberg turns 70 on Sunday. Spielberg is known to be one of the most highly respected modern-day directors, having been at the helm of such modern classics as Jaws, the Indiana Jones franchise, Jurassic Park franchise, and E.T. the Extraterrestrial. His reputation as Mr. Blockbuster was seen for years as an obstacle to highbrow awards. However, his highest critical acclaim came for the World War II dramas Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, the miniseries Band of Brothers, and the presidential biopic Lincoln. He won Best Director Academy Awards for both Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List, and also won a Best Picture award for the latter. More recently, Spielberg has gone back to his fantastical films with this summer's Roald Dahl adaptation, The BFG, and it's been announced he will be directing a fifth Indiana Jones film in 2019. The director has been married to his wife, the actress Kate Capshaw, since 1991. The couple met on the 1984 film Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, in which he played the highly strung showgirl Willie Scott. Spielberg was discovered by NCA President Sidney Sheinberg, who in the late 1960s saw Spielberg's first short film, Amblin, and signed the 20-year-old director to a contract. While some have turned their nose up at his top-grossing films, Spielberg himself has described the combination of heavy and fantastical productions as a way to stretch creativity. Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more updates of recent current affairs stories here on Television Motives. Thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening. Good night.